today. If you don't know me, I am Laura. And today we are asking this question of what would you do if you found $100 in your pocket, $200, $500. A few of you chatted in what you would do, so I greatly appreciate that. So today's Live with Laura is going to be all about money, money, money. I'm trying to get this over here. Great. So with me today is Anissa and Catherine, if you guys want to say hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
They're going to be handling the chat. So please chat in your questions if you have any. Raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask your questions, because we want this to be interactive, as we do as all of our trainings that we have in the education department, so we can all learn from one another. So today we're going to go over providing information on the ASNOA scholarships for April. We're going to identify some issues that some of you are having with commission and provide a solution for policies that are on the outstanding commissions report. Our special guests today are going to be Madeline Smith. She's our communications supervisor, and Anthony Rossini, comptroller, or the money man, as he likes to refer to himself. But first, I just want to go over a couple of things. May 6th, I'm starting my small business commercial class. If you would like to attend, please go to asnoa.com and register. We are going to go over the introduction to personal lines, the auto policy form, the homeowner's policy form, umbrella, and I'm mixing it up a little. And instead of going through customer service and marketing, we are going to go over dwelling fire policy form. So register at asnoa.com under the ASNOA University, under our courses for the May 6th. It's a 3-week course. It's 2 days a week, about 2 hours, 3 hours some days during that week, depending upon the chapter. So I'd like to welcome Madeline to Live with Laura, and who better to explain to us about the ASNOA Sales Conference would be our communications supervisor, and she's also the event planner of the ASNOA Conference and all of everything that has to do with our conference. So thank you very much, Madeline.
Yeah,
so Madeline
course.
is going to go over the scholarships. They're very important. So the ASNOA Sales Conference, October 4th through the 6th, and that's in St. Charles, Missouri. And I know at every Live with Laura, I plug in something about St. Charles because I absolutely love this town. It is family friendly, so if you're going to come to the sales conference, you can bring your family with you. St. Charles has this beautiful downtown area. And Madeline's also going to talk about our April scholarship. So Madeline, please take it away. If you can share your screen and help everybody to win a free scholarship to the sales conference.
I would be delighted. Thanks for the introduction, Laura. Yeah, as she mentioned, I wear many hats. So I'm going to run through April Scholarship, which is the social savant, and I will share my screen. All right. How's this looking for everybody? Can you see it all?
Sure can.
Looks good. Awesome. So April Scholarship is a social savant. Basically, we want to know who our biggest social media supporter is. So we post a lot of content on all of our social media channels, but we specifically wanted to focus on ASNOA's Facebook page. So this scholarship is all about interacting with our content and posting content of your own. Here are some more details just specifically about that. You can like and share ASNOA's Facebook post. So the way you get points, very simple. Split it into these 3 bullet points, really easy to go through and digest. So each like on our social media post on Facebook is worth a point. Each share is worth 2 points. It's important to mention that your share settings must be public so we can see exactly who shared our content. And if you have any questions about that, you can just shoot me an email and I would be happy to talk with you one-on-one. Another way is to post in ASNOA's private Facebook group. So if you guys aren't already members of that, it's really important to join that so you can see what other agents are posting. If they have any questions, a lot of our agents recommend people in that group. So it's a great resource for ASNOA agents to be a part of. So your posts in these ASNOA private, this ASNOA private group has to meet one of these criteria. It has to either contain a question for other agents, includes tips for the other agents on their questions, or you can update everybody in our network about a fun activity that your agency is putting on or hosting or involved in, like community engagement, office activities, or even a virtual event. So these posts are going to be worth 3 points each. But if you make it a video post and you tap into your videographer creativity hat, it will be worth 5 points. And the final way is you can reply. So when you reply to other agents' questions in the private group, you will receive 5 points each. We really want to promote a community of sharing information and helping everybody out, because really that's what our entire network is about. The final step, this is super, super important. You must be following ASNOA's Facebook in order to qualify for this scholarship. And so here I'm going to show you how to find ASNOA's Facebook so there won't be any confusion. So right away, you're going to open up your Facebook browser. You're going to type in Agent Support Network of America. And it'll bring you to this page right here. And what you're going to do, since I'm the admin, this is what my screen looks like. But right over here, there's going to be a little button that says click or follow or like. You're going to want to follow ASNOA's Facebook page, and you're probably going to want to turn on your notifications as well so that you can be automatically alerted whenever we post something, so you don't have to constantly check and be concerned that you missed something, because we don't want you to miss anything. So as you can see, when you scroll a little bit down, it'll have all of our most recent posts. There's Anthony right there. And all you have to do is either like or share the post. Now I'm going to show you how to get into ASNOA's private group. We'll make this really quick. It's super easy. Up on this little
everybody's doing this now, right?
Oh yes, everybody do this with me. I'm walking through it step by step. I'll get these little notifications. So I'm hoping to see at least 20 notifications of people following and liking our page. So right in this little navigation bar, you're going to scroll over to more, and you're going to find the little groups tab. Now, if you click that, it'll take you right to ASNOA's private group. So what you're going to want to do is, instead of this little invite button, you should see the button that says join. So you're going to click that. You'll have to be approved by one of us. Don't worry. If we like you, we'll let you in. No, we're kidding. If you're part of ASNOA's group, you will get let in. So then it will populate with our discussion page. So this is where all of our agents are posting their little updates. We have a post from Andrea James. Any ideas where I could place a 1987 houseboat? Whoa, that's a great question. But you see that everyone is interacting on there. Agents are really helping each other out. They're answering questions. There's even referrals that are posted on here. So really, this is just a great resource for ASNOA agents to utilize, just to get familiar with agents, other agents in your network that maybe aren't in your region, or even to just post a question and see what's happening in other agencies. Now, I know I ran through that really fast. Are there any questions? Oh, yay. I see these notifications. I see these notifications. Keep them coming, people. I love it.
That's great.
That is great. So are you approving them right now so they can get in there and start posting?
Oh yeah, watch me go.
Start liking. All right.
Oh, yes, 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 yes,
Keep them coming. Awesome.
yes.
All
I
right.
love
Let's see.
this.
Who's going to be the first one to comment, make a post that they love joining their Live with Laura's?
Ooh, ooh. Oh, nice. Wow, you
See,
guys
look
are,
at that.
I know
Great.
everybody is just on it. They are requesting faster than Facebook can load. Oh my Lord. I
That's
love it.
fantastic. So if you scroll down a little bit more, we have, didn't somebody, yeah, see how Kevin posted something on there? You guys feel free, post away, get your points. And what do they win?
Oh, so here comes the fun part. So you guys will win airfare up to $500 towards our towards travel for the conference, and you will win lodging. So 2 nights at the Ameristar Casino Resort and Spa, located in beautiful St. Charles. Laura, I know that's one of your favorite places on earth. It's gorgeous.
It
It
is.
really is. And we will have more information loading on this page. This is just the standard events page. So you can find this by going to the navigation bar under events and click ASC affiliate info. This page will pop up, and we will be updating this more in the coming months with some fun activities and family options that you and your kids, your spouse, everybody can enjoy when you come and you make this trip. And I would just like to point out that the event is free for all ASNOA affiliates. So you don't have to pay for registration. You can sign up as many people as you want. We really want to see our entire network show up to this event because we miss you guys.
Absolutely. And maybe even get in a ghost tour or something in downtown St. Charles.
Ooh, Laura, you know I'm a little freaked out about all that hocus pocus stuff.
Me too.
I'll do it for you though. So as long as there's not any questions, I will turn this right back around to you, Laura.
All right, wonderful. So, oops, hang on 1 second. Let me share my screen. All right, so here's where we're at with our ASNOA Advocate Scholarship. So what that is every time you join a webinar for ASNOA, so Live with Laura, you are going to be receiving points for joining this session today. Woohoo! So also, when you join any of the webinars, so I believe there's a webinar coming up on April 23rd. So I believe that's with Anissa, help me out. Is that with Paul and Glovebox in regards to referrals maybe?
I'll double check and look into that.
Okay, so you guys are you receive an email once a month, and in that email, it tells you all of the upcoming webinars. So make sure you're getting those emails so you can take part and learn something new, because you know what, knowledge increases revenue, and knowledge is power. So here's where we're at with our leaderboard. So coming up real fast behind them is Tom Taylor and Jasmine Sanchez and Stephen Duggar, and they have 160 points. So it's going to be really important that you guys are joining all of our webinars that we have to offer. What it doesn't include is when you join any of those weekly sessions, any of our weekly help sessions, that's not included in there. But you can certainly rack up the points by joining my PLCC class that starts on May 6th. All right, so we want to welcome Anthony, and we know Anthony is the second favorite redhead of ASNOA, right, Anthony?
Whoa,
And
whoa. Hey, now, there's no favorites.
Just kidding, kind of not kidding. But anyway, Anthony's going to go over the Outstanding Commissions Report, and and what it means and what to do in the event that you have a policy on the report. He's also going to discuss with us about wholesale business and updating policy numbers after they're issued. If you're writing business with shared codes, canceled policies and policy statuses. And all of that relates to what? Commission. Commission. We want you guys to get paid commission. It's very important to us that you get paid as well as it should be to you. And also, if you're not receiving the PRBR, that's producer broker, PRBR commissions report, you're going to want to register for Anissa's weekly report session. She does them on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at noon. So register at ASNOA.com under the ASNOA University tab, because you should be receiving that PRBR report to make sure that you are properly getting paid commission, that you have commission set up properly, and especially for your producers if you are splitting commission. And then at the end, we are going to go through with Anissa, and she's going to give you some tips on making sure your policies are added into Epic. So this is the email that Anthony sends out to everybody. This email goes out. It should be going out to your staff. You should all be receiving this email. If you are not receiving this email, please check your junk, check your spam folder for communications from ASNOA Communications, and then emails from Anthony. So this is very important. This report is going to show you what policies are, or this email is going to show you what policies are on the outstanding commissions for your state. And we're going to also talk about commissions that download. So you want to make sure you have everything set up properly, so when those commissions download, our accounting department doesn't have to go back in and change it or fix it because the commission that you entered in was incorrect. And I always say this all the time: we never, ever, ever want to make accounting mad, because they're the ones that go in and do all that hard work making sure everybody gets paid properly and on time. And the downloads, all of your policy data comes through. And if you need help with downloads, you can join the Epic Weekly Help Session for that. All right, Anthony, if you would like to go ahead, take it away. Do you want to share your screen at all, or do you want me to?
I don't need to share my screen. If you don't mind going back to that slide with the email, that would just help me a little bit here.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you, Laura. Outstanding commissions. I want to clear the air on this. This is a list that is manually created by the accounting team for policies that we have received commissions, but we were not able to pay. A couple different reasons as to why that happens. Our training and education can provide a little more clarity and the instances for policies being displaying on this outstanding commissions list. So keep in mind that this list means that we have your money. And Laura did mention, we want to pay you. We never want to hold on to money. You guys as agents are out there in the field, talking to clients, working with clients on a daily basis, putting in a lot of time and effort. And, you know, what we at ASNOA try to do in every instance is to make your lives easier. So when something is on this list, that means there was something that was done incorrectly or something that's just missing. Again, our training and education can provide a little more clarity onto why that occurs. But this list, again, is very important when you receive this email. And if you're not receiving it, again, please let us know so that we can make sure that you are added to the list and that you are receiving this on a monthly basis. So this does go out monthly. We're working on some new processes, but we are trying to get this out within the first week and a half of the month, because we want to give all of you ample time to go ahead, review the list, and get anything that needs to be entered or updated in the system so that we can then go ahead and reconcile it. So just getting into this email first, there's a couple links in here. There's quite a bit, actually. I shouldn't say quite a bit, but it's very, very important to click on these links and look at the notes and what they are describing, because it's going to lead you to the correct area. So if we're looking at item number 1, this is going to be your state specific list. So the one thing that's also important about the outstanding list is that we send it out by state. So you know, if you're an Arizona agent in this example, if you were to click on that first hyperlink where it says, please review this list for any of your agency's customers, that is going to be your state specific list. One question that comes up quite often too is, what if I'm writing business in other states? In that case, it will still be under the Arizona list in this example. So if you have authority to write business in another state, when we receive the commission and we identify this policy as one of yours as an Arizona agent, whether it's a you know, Colorado policy or any other state, it will still be displayed in the Arizona outstanding list because you are an Arizona domiciled agent. So keep that in mind. That's something that's kind of a misconception sometimes where they're looking for other outstanding list. It will never be in another outstanding list unless it's a shared code, which I'll get into a little bit in a moment. Moving along though, item number 2. This is something that is new in the past couple months. So this is what I just mentioned. If you are writing business under another code that does not specifically belong to your agency. So if you were not appointed directly with a carrier and you are writing business under perhaps the state partners code, or perhaps what we are now calling incubator codes. If some of you might be aware that, you know, we're working with carriers, and if we're not able to get one of our agents appointed directly out of the gates, we're able to put them as a assigned producer under what we are calling an incubator code. In this instance, when we get the statements, we don't specifically know that it belongs to an agency. In this case, we created this list. Most of the items are going to say Allegiance Insurance. However, it's very important to go through that list if you know that you are placing business under a code that was not directly appointed to your agency. That, again, you can just click on that hyperlink where it says, please review this list in addition to your state's list. Moving along to item number 3. This is very, very crucial. It's another common misconception. It is very important when you do identify that one of the customers belongs to you, somebody from your office needs to go in there and enter the policy or get it out of suspense. I'm not going to speak to suspense because it's a whole nother animal. I like to stay away from it. Our training and education team are very, very knowledgeable on it, and they can tell you every ins and outs of it. However, when you do identify that a policy is on the outstanding list that belongs to your agency, it is very important that somebody needs to go into the system and get it out of suspense or get it manually entered into the system. There's some tips on there as well. If you see the quick video that's in blue, that's another hyperlink that will take you to an area to give you some more information on how to accomplish getting the policies entered or taken out of suspense. Also, our training team has many trainings, as some of you have already taken. Hopefully, I imagine you have. There is weekly trainings that you can sign up for, and they will be able to go more in depth as far as how to avoid getting policies on the outstanding list, and then also how to take them out of get them off the outstanding list. Last but not least, another crucial step. We must be notified. If we do not receive an email to outstanding@asnoa.com, we do not know that it needs to be reconciled. As some of you have seen, this outstanding list is getting large, which we want to avoid. We want to make this list as small as possible, and we want to reduce all the policies on there every single month. Ideally, every list would only have the last months of outstanding commissions that we received, but we could not process. In any instance, when you do get everything updated or entered that belongs to your agency, please send an email to outstanding@asnoa.com. You will then receive an auto reply letting you know that your email was in receipt and that it will be reconciled that month. Now, we do have a cutoff, and that is the 25th of the month. So that is the reason that we like to get this list out to our agents as soon as possible. We want to give you ample time to go ahead, review it, and then take the next steps to getting the information either entered or updated in the system. So once you do that, it then goes to a separate inbox. At the end of the month, the 25th, our cutoff, we go ahead and we go through every single one of those emails, and we're going to get them reconciled. So if you emailed us and the information has been entered and updated, it will be reconciled in that month. So that's also very important, is that if we receive commissions in March and you get an outstanding list in April and you see a commission that was paid to us in March, it will not be reconciled until April. Because again, it's a manual process. We have to be notified that a policy has been corrected or entered, and then it will be reconciled in that month. So again, that's another delay in commissions that you guys don't want. So that's why it's very important, excuse me, to take the advice of our training and education team, ask them for any resources that they may have, because if a policy is on the outstanding list, that already means that you now have another month before you receive that commission. And again, we don't want to hold on to your commission. We will, obviously, we will always maintain that list. When you review the outstanding list, you're only going to see the prior 6 months, because again, we don't want this list to be 150 pages. However, I will say most items do get updated within 2 or 3 months. However, that is all dependent on you as the agents. If you go ahead, get it entered, updated, send us an email, it will be taken off the list that month. And then again, when you get your producer report, you're going to see those policies on there. So also, I should have mentioned in the beginning, if anyone has questions, feel free to chat them in. I'm not going to answer them right away. I will as soon as I'm done speaking, because if there's an influx of them, it might just be too hard. But feel free to chat any questions in, and we'll make sure that we address them before we part ways today. So a couple other items now that I want to mention with the outstanding list. Again, our training and education can provide a little more clarity, but I've been doing this for quite some time. So there's things that I've encountered in my tenure as far as why policies do hit the outstanding list. One of them is that, and Peak in Life is a good example. You may or may not write Peak in Life, but Peak in Life, when you are going through the process of getting a policy issued, they provide a quote number. And we've seen time and time again that this quote number is entered into Epic. And that's fine, because that helps you identify or search for something that you're working on that hasn't been completed. However, when that policy is issued, you do want to make sure that the information is updated. So a lot of life carriers do not send downloads. I shouldn't say a lot, but there are more life carriers than our standard carriers, because every other carrier for P&C business is going to download. Life in this case,
policies don't download.
Yeah, I would say majority don't, right?
No, I don't have any that download life.
Okay, then there you go.
But
so I told you our training and education would have a little more info. So in this case, it is very crucial that once that process is complete of having the policy bound with the carrier, that you make sure, especially for life, that you go into the system and you get those policy numbers updated. So if there was a quote number, make sure to get rid of that quote number and put in the correct policy number. Because when we get the commission statement from the carrier, that's how we're going to find it. Not the quote number. That is not on a commission statement. They actually have the policy number. So if you see a lot of Peak in Life on there, or just a lot of life in general, it's likely because a quote number was entered opposed to the actual policy number. So that is very, very important. Canceled policies now too. This is something that is very, very important, because a lot of times we see agents, or at least in the past we've seen agents, when a policy is canceled, that they go and write over that policy. That can't happen. That information, everything that happens from the inception of the policy until it's canceled or doesn't renew or whatever happens, needs to stay in the system the way that it was entered. When this happens, again, canceled policies need to be in the system with the policy number that was assigned to it in the beginning. So it's important, never write over a policy, because again, let's say a policy does cancel and then later on you rewrite it. Now the rewrite is not going to be in the system. And that brings me to another point, is the policy status. It's very, very important to continue to, check your downloads, check suspense, and also just the manual policies that are entered. Always, always, always keep that policy status up to date, because that can affect a couple different things. One, it can affect getting the commissions reconciled, and two, it can affect them getting reconciled with the proper split. A lot of our agencies, they have commission splits based on if a policy is new business or if it's renewal. So it's important that the policy status is always, always up to date, whether it's a new business or a renewal, it's a rewrite, cancel, what have you, audit. Make sure that that is always correct. Now, Laura mentioned a report called the PRBR Cleanup Report. This is something I'll touch on a little bit, but they can certainly answer any in-depth questions and provide you this report if you don't have it already. This report is a godsend. It can provide you with very, very valuable information, especially for those of you that have many splits. There's a couple different ways to essentially break out the report as far as what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for your entire book of business and you want to see every single commission split for every policy that you've ever written. Perhaps you just want the last week of policies that you just wrote. Perhaps you want the last month, the last quarter, what have you. That simple adjustment of the criteria on the report. However, this report, again, will tell you those commission splits. It'll tell you the profit center, it'll tell you the producers, and it'll tell you the percentages that those producers are receiving. This report is very, very valuable if you want your policies to be reconciled with the splits that you've identified to us. I did see a PRBR producer broker. Thanks, Anissa. I was trying not to pay attention to the questions. So yes, this report we've developed in the last couple of years. We've gotten a lot of feedback on it that it is very helpful, and our training and education can provide it to you if you don't have it already. I do believe, Laura, correct me if I'm wrong, we have now, for our new affiliates that join, it's a standard report that we drop in your My Reports. And again, you can change the criteria to whatever field that you're looking for. Some of you might have multiple branches. You could run it by all branches. You can run it by one individual branch at a time. Again, it can just be changed with the criteria.
And one thing, Anthony, that I love about running this report, it's in an Excel spreadsheet. So you can add on filters to the spreadsheet and then search by each profit center that you may have or each branch to make sure each one of those policies are set up properly.
Absolutely. And, not everyone is Excel savvy. There's certainly a lot of advanced features in Excel, but what Laura just mentioned is putting a filter on an Excel is very simple, and it's something we can train you on. I do recommend that you do understand Excel to some point, at least the very basics, because that is something that will help you, especially if you don't want to run 5 or 6 or 10 reports. If you wanted to run one report for multiple branches or multiple time periods, what have you, you can just run an all-inclusive report, put a small little filter on there, and then you can check which items that you want and don't want at any specific time. Last thing on the outstanding list, unless I'm missing anything else, Laura, is carrier. So it doesn't happen often, but it does happen that we do want to make a note to it. And when I say carrier changes, that is really with the policies being changed from the term. So there are a handful of carriers that will change the policy upon renewal. This is important to, again, keep in the back of your head at all times, because if a policy renews with the new policy number, you want to check your downloads, you want to check suspense, make sure that everything is updated accordingly. If this does not, if the checks and balances for the policy numbers does not occur, this again is another another major reason why a policy would be entered on the outstanding list. And again, that now means that there's at least another 30 days before you receive the commissions. And again, we want to avoid that at any cost, because all of you are putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort to grow your agencies. And if you're not getting paid for your work, what's the point, right? And again, we don't want to hold on to your money. We will hold on to it forever and ever if you don't claim it. But we hope that you do, because again, it's your money, it's your time that you put in, and you deserve to be paid on these commissions. So just keep that in mind too. You know, over the years we've said, oh, you're holding on to our commissions. We're never holding on to commissions. We want to get them out. We want to get them paid. That's my whole spiel on the outstanding list. Is there anything else, Laura, that I probably should have added on the outstanding list, or do you think that was pretty good overview?
No, I think that was really good. And I liked how you touched on about the carriers that are renewing policies with new policy numbers. So I sent out an email the other day to people who were writing business with Aegis Insurance. So Aegis, hopefully I'm saying that right. So upon renewal of your manufactured homes that you wrote with them, they are changing the policy numbers because they partnered up with a company called Homesite Insurance. So at renewal, those policy numbers are changing. They're going to go right into suspense when they download. So if you're not checking suspense, you're going to miss that that policy was renewed with a different policy number. And then guess what? When they pay commission on that, that commission is going to go on the outstanding commissions report because you did not update that policy number. And in that email that I sent out, if you are issuing business with Aegis, it had a whole workflow on how to renew those policies out of Epic. So if you did not receive that email from me and you are writing business with Aegis, please send me an email so I can send that to you as well, because we don't want to see any of your policies on the outstanding commissions. But I think that that was good, Anthony. Oh, also, can you just touch a little bit about wholesale business? I know it's unrelated to the outstanding commissions, but it is about commissions.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to separate them, outstanding and wholesale. So I didn't really see any other questions that weren't already answered. If anything does come up, or later on after this webinar is over, tomorrow, next week, next month, what have you, please reach out to us. We always want to make sure that our agents are fully informed with every single thing that we do. So last thing, again, then on the outstanding list is just please make sure to check it. It is very valuable. There's money that's owed to you potentially. And get it updated as soon as possible and send that email, because if you don't follow the steps in this email, the commissions are not going to be assigned to your agency until all the steps are followed. It needs to be entered or updated in the system, and we need to get an email to outstanding@asnoa.com. Very, very important that you follow those two steps. So wholesale business, E&S markets. This doesn't pertain to everybody just yet, but it is very possible that it will at some point in your career. So what is this? This is carriers that your agency is appointed with directly, meaning ASNOA did not facilitate the relationship. The contract is between you and that carrier. And I'll just throw one out there, Echelon. Echelon, I'll throw a couple. Echelon, RT Specialty, Arlington Row. These are just to name a few. These carrier appointments are not facilitated through ASNOA. However, we are still entitled to the 15% override. And you are also able to use our Epic management system to whatever extent that you want when it comes to these policies. Because when it, let's say it comes time and you're at the end of your career and you want to sell your agency, you want to know every single policy that you've written. So it is very, very important that these policies are entered into the system as well. It will be a manual process. Now, I do know we have developed some relationships where the appointment is not facilitated through ASNOA, but we are able to have downloads. Very far and few between. With that said, that means that any business that you place outside of the standard carriers that you are appointed through ASNOA, needs to be manually entered in the system. And then that goes for when there's a renewal, when there's an endorsement, those need to be manually completed in the system. Now, a lot of times with the wholesale business, though, it's really the policy's issued and the policy renews. There's usually not many endorsements based on the nature of the business of those policies. However, it does happen. So it's just very, very important that when anything does happen with a policy, whether there's an endorsement, it cancels, it renews, those changes are made in the system by somebody in your agency. Now, I wish I had a better explanation as far as how to submit that right now, or a better process. I will say that we are working on it. I'm hoping by the third quarter that we do have a new process to submit wholesale, because again, we are trying to make your life easier. Currently, the best thing to do is to simply email somebody in my department. You can just use me if you wanted. A copy of the statement or invoice. So as soon as you receive commission from said carrier, go ahead and just shoot me an email of that statement. That's going to have everything I need. It's going to tell me your agency name. It's going to tell me the carrier and the premium and the commission. From there, what we do is we simply take that commission and reduce your other commissions by 15%. And that's on the deduction statement, if none of you have been aware. So when you get that deduction statement, generally comes from Aaron Mulligan in my department right now. You will see up top is the gross commissions, which will directly correlate with the producer commissions report that you received from us on the first of the month. So if that report showed $30,000 up top on that deduction statement, you'll see $30,000, and it will have a breakout of the different producers. Down below, then you'll see the deductions, and you're going to see Epic, Easy Links, MVRs, and in this instance with wholesale, you might see something that says E&S wholesale overrides. That is where we are going to reduce the 30,000 by that 15% of any wholesale business. And from there, that's really it for your obligations. We still are scanning those in the system currently. Again, this is why we're working on this process to make things a lot simpler for our agents and then for us at the same time, because it is a manual process. But we do scan every single one in the system on a monthly basis. And the way that you can find these is search your agency in Epic. So if let's just say I had an agency and it was Anthony Rossini Insurance, I would go into Epic under the clients and locate, and I would search Anthony Rossini Insurance. From there, I'll look on the left-hand side of the screen and you'll see a tab that says attachments. That's where you want to go to find the copies of the E&S wholesale overrides that you submitted to us, and that will directly correlate with that deduction statement. So if you received a deduction statement that said 415 statement, you can now go into your client in Epic under the attachments tab and look for E&S wholesale overrides 415. That will then, again, directly relate to that charge. So if it's $100 of E&S wholesale overrides, you will find a statement or statements that equal to $100 so that you can, again, keep track of on a monthly basis which ones you submitted to us and which ones still need to be submitted. Not too much else to go on the wholesale, but it is important that you are utilizing a system because, again, if it does come time to sell your agency, you want to make sure that those policies are accounted for. And any other thing that you want to do pertaining to that client, you want to make sure that you have all the information right there at your fingertips, because that's the whole purpose of Epic, is that it's information and you can, log into the system at any point in time and gather whatever information you might need. So if you're sitting with a client or if you're just working on a client's account, you have every single thing that you need right there at your fingertips. That is all I have on the wholesale business.
That's pretty awesome, Anthony. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions? Anissa, I can't see the chat. Is there anything coming in regards to wholesale?
No, nothing came in at this time.
Okay, so everybody's getting the outstanding commissions report. they're dropping everything when they see that email come through, and they're checking to make sure that their name is not on that list, their agency. And like Anthony said, if you're writing business through Allegiance or through Agency 1, it's not going to show your name on it. It's going to show the other agency's name on that. So you're going to want to check that as well to make sure that there are no policies and clients on that list with your name on it. Anthony, I did have a question that came in earlier about what if I forgot to send in our wholesale statements?
If you forgot to send it in, no problem. We're not going to cut your hands off just yet. Just go ahead and make sure that you just send them whenever you put them together. You know, the best practice, again, I mentioned, is once you receive the commission, because you know, we don't want you to submit a statement and you don't have the commission, and then we go ahead and collect 15%. We never want that to happen. Once you receive the commission, a good practice would be to either put it in a folder, like overrides to submit, and then once you do that, move that to a folder override submitted. At this time, I think that's probably a good practice. But again, if you want to do it every single time, go ahead, you get the commission, submit it right away, and just be done with it. Or if you want to do it on a monthly basis, go ahead and do that. So we do have a cutoff with that too. Occasionally, some agents will be like, hey, I submitted this to you, I don't see it in my attachments. That's just because we cut off at a certain time so that we can put everything together so that we can get a specific charge, you know, for each statement. So if you have a couple months worth, go ahead and just put them together and submit them. You know, we're not going to cut your hands off because you didn't submit it on time. But just make sure that you do submit all of them, because it is very important that you do not want to breach your contract. And we don't generally have this problem. You know, we, as the parent company, as you, the individual agents, you know, we try to develop very close relationships. Everybody is doing the right thing, which way or not. So just make sure to go ahead and submit, whether you have 3 months worth or what have you. You know, keep in mind though, every year we do random audits. You know, I don't want to say it's because we don't, it's just part of our responsibility as an organization to make sure that people are following the guidelines of the contract. So every year we do a random selection of about 10% of our agents, and we audit their, essentially their tax returns. And it's a pretty simple process. For us to identify if all the overrides have been submitted. So in an instance where something might have been missed, again, we're not going to cut your hands off. We're just going to tell you, hey, we've identified a discrepancy. You know, we believe that we're owed some commissions on potentially a wholesale business. Can you provide the documentation? Or can you provide that it is not income related to commission revenue? If that's the case, all good. And then you're taken off the list for a few years where we're not going to audit your agency. So just keep in mind that that is something that we do every year, a random selection of 10% of audits on our affiliates. That was kind of a long-winded answer, huh?
Yeah. Yes, we don't want our hands cut off. All right, awesome. Is there anything else, Anissa? Did we miss anything in regards to your tips and tricks on the outstanding commission?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Anthony was talking about earlier in regards to resources and guidelines. So let me share my screen real quick. All right, you know what? I'm receiving an error and I don't want to accidentally end this session. So I will talk about it. I did want to point out that we have a resource available to you guys known as the Outstanding Commissions Report Guidelines. And this file, it covers what the Outstanding Commission Report is, procedures on how to make policy corrections, and it also highlights best practices to help prevent your policies being listed on this report. So this was included in one of the Ask ANISA sections in the ASNOA Advantage, and we'll be sure to include this in the follow-up email. And so every agency owner and anyone else in the agency who is, assisting with data entries in Epic should have this file on hand for future reference. Keep it in your drawer, keep it on your desktop. It will save you, a lot of time by just giving you clear directions on how to make these updates efficiently. So it has all, like I said, it points out possible reasons why your policies are on there and what to do. It even states, once you're done, please notify outstanding@asnoa.com. It includes everything that you need to know. So we'll make sure that you have that.
Awesome. Thank you, Anissa. I'm so sorry. I was going to pull up your Ask Anissa. So if you're looking for any of our previous Live with Laura's or Ask Anissas, if you go to our ASNOA YouTube channel, ASNOA Training on YouTube, you can see all of our how-to videos. You'll be able to see all of the previous Ask Anissas. And like she said, we'll put that in the follow-up email to everybody regarding how to make sure you're working the outstanding commissions report. So thanks, Anissa. Did you have anything else you wanted to add in?
No, I think that is all. And as always, if anyone has any questions, anyone wants us to look over that, please always email training@asnoa.com and we'd be happy to help you guys.
All right, thank you very much. So just real quick, some resources. If you go to the asnoa.com, that's our website. You can go to the ASNOA University and register for any of our weekly sessions, along with registering for my May 6th PLCC. And I do apologize, my dog is barking. And also, like Madeline was telling everybody, go on to the ASNOA private Facebook group. Leave us a message. Let us know how you liked Live with Laura today and how awesome that Madeline and Anthony are, and receive some points. You should be receiving the ASNOA Advantage newsletter that comes out once a month for you, twice a month, I apologize, with lots of information. And then that email that I was referencing earlier about what's coming up for the month. It's going to show you all of the webinars that we have going on. So you're going to want to make sure that you are receiving those emails. If not, check your spam in your junk folders. So just a real quick review. We talked about registering for my upcoming PLCC class. Madeline provided us with how to take advantage of everything that, all the scholarships that are upcoming. You'll see that on the website, and what our April scholarship is, and how to register for the ASC. So that's the ASNOA Sales Conference. That's in October. And Anthony advised us all on how to receive commissions. We want to get paid. So the big thing that you need to do is see a policy on that report, put it into Epic, request another download if it's not already in suspense, and email outstanding@asnoa.com. You can put those policies in all day long, but if accounting doesn't know that you added it in there, they cannot pay you commission on it. So please follow all those steps that are in that email that you should be receiving from Anthony monthly. And also, and I say it all the time, please follow up on your downloads. Please check suspense. That is key always on making sure that everything is updated in Epic, everything is accurate, you're receiving commission, because we're not all volunteering our time. We're doing this because we want to get paid. So thanks everybody for joining. Please fill out the evaluation at the end of the session. Let us know what other topics you'd like to see on our next and upcoming Live with Laura. And as always, we are one planet. We're all in this together. ASNOA is here for you. We have extra trainings. We can chat about ideas on how to be better within your agency, some more efficiencies. All of our trainings and everything that we do are free to our agents as part of the ASNOA Advantage. So please take advantage of what we have to offer here in the Education Department. And let us know if you guys have any questions. Thanks for joining us today, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Don't forget who your favorite redhead is.
Oh, we know who that is, Anthony. They know. All right, everybody, let us know if you have any questions. We'll hang out here for a little bit.